Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, yeah, send it to the deck, yeah, sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge, look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the OnChain Hour, and today's show is going to be good, but not great. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be absolutely amazing, guys. We got Bitcoin sitting at 115,766. All right, so let's talk about that for a second. Yesterday, we had Bitcoin over 123, dropped down to about 120, 119, and now we had the hurricane down to 115. What is happening? What is going on? Is this bull run over? No, none of that, right? We're coming down to retest. We're coming down to retest the all-time high. Colin Talks Crypto had a really good chart. We're going to show that a little bit. We have a lot of things to look forward to. CPI didn't come in great. We're going to get into that. PPI tomorrow, kind of expecting that to be kind of very similar, right? But we got to remember Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have the different acts that we're going to get into that a little bit too, where any of them get passed. Bitcoin number go up, crypto number go up, right? This is a really, really healthy pullback, in my opinion. And this could actually set up the next leg to take us to that 130, 140, 145 mark, guys. I'm really excited for this next couple of months. I don't think you should stress out about what is happening with the price action on the day-to-day. It's good to zoom out, look at those daily candles, look at those weekly candles, and kind of really decide what you want to do there, right? I mean, I like to dig in. I like to dig in every single day and figure out what's going on. And the people that are successful are the ones who dig in every single day, know every aspect of the markets, know every aspect of the news. And we're going to bring that to you each and every day. And today is like no other. So less on price, more on what is going on the Main Street crypto. And we're going to talk about all that stuff. So without further ado, let's bring my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How you feeling today, bro? I know it's a little red, but how you feeling?
I feel bipolar due to Bitcoin being so bipolar. It's just really, you try to, see first, what's the reaction to CPI. Then you get mixed messages there. Then you're like, okay, well, let's see how TradFi responds once the bell rings at 9:30 Eastern. Big time mixed messages. They brought it up to 118, only to swing it all the way back down to high 115s, which is kind of where we're hovering right now. right? So I'm sure that there's some people that are trading that are a bit frustrated with this, but remember, we just got to 123. There's been a couple of other variables involved with OG Bitcoiner also moved a lot of Bitcoin, and people taking profits. Even before that run up to 123, it was 99% of people that had at least a Bitcoin in their wallet were in profit, right? So, you got to remember that. And so there's going to be a lot of profit taking at that point. The big thing that people are focusing on right now is, where does Bitcoin kind of find its new home range, right? It's going to be tricky. You have people like you mentioned, Colin, saying we're going to retest our previous local kind of previous high, right? And then you have people also that are focused on, when does alts take off? When does Ethereum do its thing? So there's a lot of things to focus on. Don't try to overwhelm yourself, but just know what your strategy is, and then you can kind of figure out what you specifically need to focus on.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I just think that, this market is not going to be easy. Like, we're not in easy times yet. I think we're going to get to an area that's going to last a few months that is super easy, right? Where everyone feels like I can just throw a dart at something and make money. We're going to get to a point like that, but I think that's not till Q4, Q1, maybe even Q2 of next year. We have to build up to that, right? So, but the market makers aren't going to make it easy for you right now. They're actually going to make you struggle and hate yourself, right, for a little while, and then they're going to give you they're going to give themselves a leeway to kind of move forward and kind of move things up, and we're going to kind of see that. And I think it starts with an Ethereum breakout. Ethereum's holding up really strong today, in my opinion, right? Only down 1%, while Bitcoin is down 3.2. Normally what happens, Bitcoin's down 3%, Ethereum's down 7%. Ethereum's down 9%, right? And for this today, we're barely down 1%. I mean, we're 1.01. While the rest of the markets are suffering too. You have the S&P dropping, you have the Dow Jones dropping, NASDAQ is holding up, but it's no longer at the all-time high it was earlier today. I don't know what to say, but let's kind of get into why stuff is going on. So yesterday's the forecast month over month was 0.3 positive for the inflation number, the CPI. The year over year was forecasted at 2.6. So we did come in a little higher on the year to year. It came in at 2.7, but the month to month was exactly the same at 0.3. What do you think about this number? It's a big nothing, baby.
I do. I think a lot of people wish that we came in a little under expectations, maybe to have some gas, some fuel to really pump markets. Look, the TradFi market, a mixed message, right? Like, it started off really hot. Now you're starting to see them pull back a little bit as well. Bitcoin started off hot, pulled back, went hot again. So it's almost kind of like this. The CPI was a nothing burger, but also just a lot of mixed reactions to it. You know what I mean? It's good. No, it's not. It's like, I'm dead. I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm alive. That meme, right? And that's how I felt with it this morning, to be honest. But again, we'll get through this. It's just kind of the volatility and emotions involved with it that you got to let simmer down, cool off, and then I think we'll get a better feel probably late today, early tomorrow, to play out the week. Remember, this is supposed to be crypto week. I feel like a lot of times when this administration announces something related to crypto, it's not like this amazing like price action that we're hoping, but we'll see. Yeah. There's some legislation that should definitely help our markets, and maybe we do get a positive price action with that.
100%. I think the beginning of this week is going to be a little slower, and the end of the week is going to be a nice, fresh, a nice feel to it. We'll see. But I was hoping that the numbers this morning would kind of move. Poly market, no change really at all. So we got the 97 of no change this morning, back to 96. There's some people taking some 25% bips. I think that this, if you were a gambler, this is a nice bet. You know what I mean? I still think, just because of the money wise and, risk versus reward, the reward is there if you're willing to take that risk, but, Poly market is usually right. Usually right. So
you got to have a lot of capital to make something there, right? Because it's like a 96% to 96 on the dollar. So you're making a 4% return pretty much. But if you have a lot of money, tens of millions of dollars, which people are probably piling in there.
Well, I'm talking about this one, the 25 bips.
Ooh,
right. I'm talking about potential. I guess
a little bit of money. A little bit
high risk.
Yeah.
but little, high risk comes with high reward, right? So I don't know. If I was sitting here, I would take the gamble. I'm not somebody who gambles. So I just can't live that life. I don't know. I just can't do it. I'd lose too much. But because I think like this. Maybe I think, hey, there's a shot, right? 3%. There's a chance. But yeah. But no change there. And then the September one is same thing here. 52% no change now. So this did drop as well. So now pretty much saying, 52.47 is kind of what people are saying here. Look at this gambler. I can't imagine 1%, 25 plus. They're gonna add 25%. No shot.
Yeah, he put if there's only 1% in there and there's 950,000, how much did a couple people put in there, right?
I know. Like that's pure gambling, bro. That's gonna raise 25 pips. That'd be a shocker. Powell doesn't shock markets. One thing about Powell either. So but remember, we do have more numbers coming this week. So tomorrow we have PPI, really, really big. This is the B2B, right? This is where most of the tariffs are coming in at, right? It's mainly B2B. It's not really yet anyway. Consumers aren't really feeling the tariffs, in my opinion. B2B is feeling it more. It's Walmart kind of taking the hit and not jacking up the prices. It's kind of what I'm seeing right now. But we'll see. Q2 earnings. So there's gonna be a lot of earnings coming next week, and the week after, right? We're talking Tesla, we're talking Nvidia, we're talking companies that actually might put Bitcoin on their books, right? We're seeing the MicroStrategy of the world really do well because they hold a lot of Bitcoin. So I'm actually thinking that companies that are in between large cap and like small caps, like medium caps, companies could be adding Bitcoin just as a boost to their stock. So I'm actually looking into that. I'm going to be watching and paying attention to a lot of the earnings that are coming up. But the banks came out today, and no bank really has Bitcoin on their books. That was one thing, but they all did really well in Q2. So that was a shocker to me. And another reason why I don't think interest rates are really going to get cut is potentially because the banks are doing well. You don't cut rates if the banks are making money.
Who are they lending to? Who's borrowing money right now at these higher rates, right?
Well, I am, you are, right? I mean,
yeah.
At the end of the day,
but
we're paying that monthly.
Yeah, we got locked in good rates though, but that also, whenever they show a quarterly return, it's typically a lot of new business too, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm obviously they have different products as well. So it's not just only typical loans and stuff. But yeah, so another thing too recently is that I think the administration had announced that banks and financial institutions can now custody Bitcoin as well. So we might start to see more reporting from those financial institutions, maybe in the future quarters that they report. So that's something to look forward to.
100%. Yep. Okay. So President Trump calls on the Fed to cut rates by 3 points, $1 trillion a year. So our deficit right now in the U.S. is $2 trillion. $1 trillion of that is from debt, is to pay the bondholders, right? So a lot of people don't understand. We don't just create money from thin air. We create bonds, and we put them into the market. People come in and they buy them up. That's how they get money. That's how the U.S. gets money. But those bonds pay the interest rate. So if we're at a 4% interest rate like we are today, we're paying 4% on every bond in the market, right? 4% interest rate on every bond. So that's companies like Tether are taking advantage of that, right? They're like, hey, we'll just back these dollars or these stable coins by these bonds, and they make 4% for free, basically, just from holding bonds. So it's kind of a win-win for stable coins, but we're seeing a lot of this. But
and this has been in our system for so long, right? And when countries lend money to us, and then they are by buying our bonds, and they get paid out interest, right? So it makes me wonder, like, what is the relationship? And I know this is like the tinfoil hat again, but we've seen stuff with Doge. I wonder, like, how many of these countries are just making so much off of us, and it's like our Fed manages all that, or a lot of it, right? Isn't that how it works? Yeah. And so, saving $1 trillion a year is a good thing. Hopefully this can happen sooner than later. We'll see.
Dude, and if we get interest rates down to 1% again, oh my God, dude. So that would be from bank to bank, right? So no normal person is going to be able to get something like that. So, but still, imagine, people getting loans for 2% again. I mean, think about that. I mean, all you got to do is beat 2%. That's all you got to do. I mean, that's going to be a really fun time. But let's jump into the next thing here. House Committee on Financial Services says the era of digital assets is no longer a promise. It's a national priority. So Wednesday, we have the Clarity Act is getting voted on. On Thursday, we have the Genius Act will be voted on. And then Thursday, Friday, they're saying if they get time to vote on this on Thursday, they will, but it most likely will be on Friday, is the Anti-CBDC Act. All three of these are, expected to pass. Wednesday, Clarity. Thursday, Genius. Friday, Anti-CBDC. What do you think, man? Can we get a boost from these acts passing? I mean, it is crypto week.
I hope so, man. A lot of people have been talking about the stable coins and how it could positively affect Ethereum just because, they're going to be onboarding all these stable coins to EVM environments, right? And I don't know exactly from a, literal standpoint how it can affect Ethereum's price go up, but, this is something that they've been talking about that's bullish. The anti-CBDC thing, that's awesome. I don't think that's really going to be it. That's going to be a nothing burger, I think. But I mean, it's a big deal, but not to move markets as much, I don't think. But the stablecoin stuff, yes, and then the Clarity stuff, I think, is also something really big that people have been waiting a long time for.
100%. But the anti-CBDC is it's not good for other stuff, but it's really good for stablecoins because it means the US won't create their own stablecoin. If the United States create their own stablecoin, they would basically prioritize you to use that over USDC, over JP Morgan stablecoin, over all these other stablecoins, over Wilfi, right? And everything that they're building with their stablecoin, USD1. So this is actually a really big boost for companies like Circle if this gets passed, because this basically outlaws the United States from creating their own. So
yeah, very true.
All right, let's move along here. So Virtual Bacon, someone to truly follow on X.
He's good. He's good.
Dude, he's amazing. Absolutely amazing. He said Bitcoin breaks out to 120. Is it time for Altseason? Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high of 123. So this obviously was, a day ago. But where are altcoins pumps? I've gone back through the last 3 Bitcoin breakouts to find patterns. The signs are finally lining up. Here's what to expect from ETH, Sol, and XRP. First, Bitcoin is in deep is in price discovery, but altcoin momentum has lagged, and many large caps haven't moved. Every Bitcoin breakout since 2023 led to altcoin rallies. 30 to 44, it led to an altcoin rally. 45 to 71, altcoin rally. 71 to 105, after Trump's win, altcoin rally. Each move gave altcoins 3 to 5 week window to run hard. So this is basically what he's saying here. Every time we had a Bitcoin rally, it was basically Altseason, and he's kind of expecting it again here. So really interesting. We got to get back in that 120 area first. He says Bitcoin broke 107 up to 123 and potentially heading to 150. If the pattern holds, this is the start of another alt window. But be careful. This is not a 6-month alt season. It's a sprint. Bitcoin dominance hasn't broken down yet. So if this isn't a macro alt season, but altcoins can still rally if dominance stops rising. That's exactly what happened the last 2. So he's not calling for an alt season, but he's calling for alts to kind of catch up before they get smacked again. So he's kind of predicting a potential alt season in Q4, Q1. But in the meantime, there is opportunity to make some money as a trader, as a swing trader. You basically buy, wait 3 to 5 weeks, take profit, and then buy them again and just wait it up. The only problem with that is, what if he's wrong and
you get wrecked?
Enter an alt season? Well, if we do, you get out too early. So there's always opportunities there. But he said the coins that he's really looking into are BNB, Link, ADA, TRON, and Doge. That's kind of what he's expecting here to kind of pump in these next couple of weeks. Pengu, he said Pengu and Bonk have already kind of ran, while Sui, Aptos, and AVAX could be runners as well. It basically says Tau and Pepe ran in 2023, so he's not expecting them to run until again later. But definitely check out this article. It's Virtual Bacon. He's at Virtual Bacon 0x if you want to check this whole article out there. But what do you think about this? We both read through it.
Yeah, look, I like the guy. I think he's really educated on the space, and he has really good threads. You know, he breaks down things to make it. He simplifies it, right? And I think he has a point. If you look at the previous two, breakouts, it was true. There was a window of alts too. So that's the thing is, I'm in the mindset of trying to catch that window. I know you said, well, what if it continues on? Well, I think that's okay, because there'll always be another opportunity between, let's say, the window I project and I get in, I make money, I get out. And then if it continues, I'm fine, because in my thought process is that like it will continue into Q4, and they'll probably get even more hyper aggressive then. So that's where, like, okay, I missed out on that. Let me see some new stuff, or stuff that cools down a little bit to re-enter in. So I think I think it's a kind of a win-win situation if you try to just catch that window, if that Q4 comes out, obviously. So you are kind of laying your bets that there's going to be a hyper aggressive Q4 as well, in my strategy, in my perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm okay to do that, because missing the last two windows wasn't like that fun, right? And it wasn't that like I didn't make any money in those last two run-ups. Yeah, I could have made more, realizing that it wasn't going to extend as far. You know what I mean? And just kind of getting out a little bit earlier whenever some of those altcoins were peaking.
Yeah, 100%. But it really comes down to your description of what kind of trader you are, right? Are you an investor? Are you a trader? Are you a little bit of both, right? Like for me, I'm holding majority of runes right now, and for me, I'm just kind of like I'm just gonna hold until one I can't hold anymore, meaning like I need to sell for whatever reason to take care of financial responsibilities, or I hold until next May, right? Potentially hold all the way through and just deal with the ups and downs, but just know that my thesis that runes are going to gain from where they're now 10, 20, 30, even 100x by some. I think I'm okay with not trying to trade this and just invest it. But again, you can make a lot of money if you're in now, you sell in 5 weeks, it drops back down, you get back in exactly where we're at now. But then again, you're kind of predicting the markets as well. So it's hard, man. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. I think one thing that is easier to predict is the fact that most of the time in the bull run year you get a good Q4. So for me, I'm looking at it like that. If this was 2024, I actually, even though Q4 had pretty good environment for the price action for some alts and stuff, I wouldn't have projected that, just because it was like the halving year. I'm projecting it this year. So if I'm wrong this year, I'm gonna be very surprised if we don't get like an aggressive some part of Q4, where that's the beginning in November and it cools off in December, or we get parts of November and December. And so with that, I'm okay to try to just hit that window here in the summer, because the summer to me is a cherry on top anyways. You know what I mean? Because like we weren't expecting the summer to be too hot. Obviously Bitcoin, yes. And then of course, if it was that big of a breakout, we have been calling Bitcoin getting to 120 to 130 for about a month and a half, 2 months, just because that we've been so locked in on the M2 global supply. But it was just, I was so focused on that. And I was like, okay, if that happens, then Ethereum can actually really take off. In my opinion, I think Ethereum needs this summer anyways to level up, because being right at $3,000 right now, in my opinion, is kind of unacceptable heading into like a really aggressive Q4, right? So it gets to like 4,000 to 4,500 starting in November. That's the price it's at. It's been ranging back, high 3,000s to 4,500. Then it takes off to hit those possible 55, 60, 6,000, 6,500, whatever, to end the year. I think Ethereum needs this little summer jolt. You know what I mean? And so, so now that's kind of how I see it. I look at that as a big opportunity too, because going up $1,000 for Ethereum is a big deal. Especially if you trade that correctly. You know what I mean? You're talking about using low leverage, and possibly, if you are a trader, really taking advantage of an opportunity, because everybody's kind of sitting around right now. Okay, Ethereum's going to take off. When is it? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be a week from now? Is it going to be 2 weeks from now? Bitcoin's had its separation from its all-time high by, you're talking $13,000, or no, about $11,000. That's big enough to where we know Ethereum's going to make a move. It's just when is that going to happen? And so I think that's what's on everybody's mind right now.
The when.
Yes,
No,
the
100%.
when.
I agree.
And I think market makers and everybody knows that too, though.
No, I agree 100%. Bernstein analysts expect a long and exhausting crypto bull market extending into 2026, driven by institutional adoption and maintain their 200,000 BTC target by early 2026. So Bernstein's been somebody who's been pretty accurate. They're one of the few firms, research firms, that called the November 2021 top. They did miss the bottom. They were somebody who said that they thought Bitcoin was going to go down to 10K, but now they're calling for a long and exhausting bull run that's going to extend into 2026. Is kind of what I'm saying. I'm saying May 2026 is going to be the top. Selling may go away. Next summer is going to be very not great, but that's just my opinion. What do you think, though? I think their number here is way low for a top 200K. Very conservative,
especially by 2026. Goodness. Yeah, so I do think it's going to be long, and probably yes. I mean, I feel a little bit of exhaustion now in terms of like just the you know, the back and forth waiting for the alt market to kind of come in play. If I'll tell you this, if it takes next year summer or right before summer to get to 200,000, that's definitely going to feel exhausting. But hey, again, $200,000. Most people that are conservative are calling 200, 230, 250 by end of this year. We'll see how that looks. But, you know, you talked about the extended bull market, right? Or this new, I guess, like this new,
not extended, but
super
push.
Cycle. Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like we haven't started yet. Like we normally start December of 2024 would have been, you know, the start of a bull run and finishing November. But I feel like we've got, you know, because of the tariffs and all that stuff, we've got kind of pushed back, delayed almost.
Yeah. But I do think we go into 2026. How far we go into 2026, I'm not sure. Next year is going to be really interesting because everybody's going to look at that and then start to form their own thesis on what the bull market looks like now. You know, if we do have like a good year that's up and down, I mean, 6 rate cuts next year, this 2026 could actually be what 2025 is supposed to be. You know what I mean? To where it's hyper aggressive in the spring and then hyper aggressive to end the year with 6 rate cuts, right? So, like I said, next year is going to be really good for kind of research to use in the future because institutions are here now. We might have a new kind of flow of how the market works.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if we get 6 rate cuts from now till May, let's say we get the 2 this year, we get one in September and get another one potentially in November, and then we go into next year in a rate cutting cycle. Markets usually are forward looking, which means starting January 1st, we're going to be locked in for at least 4 rate cuts going in next year. So that's going to be priced in. January, February, March going to run hard. April maybe with a pullback, and then that last jolt in May. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, and it does seem like Bernstein is thinking that as well, but we'll see. But one thing that has to stop happening is dormant Bitcoin whales selling. So July 4th, we had this whale come in and sell. So let me just read through this real quick. Dormant whale, he didn't sell. He actually moved his Bitcoin. The dormant whale sells 2.34 Bitcoin, 2.34 billion in Bitcoin via Galaxy Digital after 14 years, a first ever sell move from the address linked to 2011 OG. This is the very same Satoshi era wallet, or rather cluster of wallets, that first third on July 4th. Galaxy is depositing the Bitcoin that it is receiving on exchanges. So Binance, Bybit, Kraken, Coinbase, they're dumping it. That is the reason for the dump last night. It was in the middle of the night. Galaxy Digital has accounts all over the place, and they were just sending the Bitcoin that they received from this person, and they were selling it on the exchanges. So they say they're OTC, but the way they work is once the Galaxy OTC desk sends you a settlement summary, so you reach out to them and say, hey, I have this much Bitcoin I want to sell, they'll send you a settlement summary. They expect your Bitcoin transfer within the hour of you accepting that, and in return, you get a wired fiat on their end, right? So basically, and then what happens is now they receive the $2 billion in Bitcoin. Their goal is to make more than they gave you, right? That's how they make money on this. And how do they do it? Well, if they're the number one place, let's just say this guy called around because he's had since July 4th now. He had about 11 days to kind of call around and get the best price for his Bitcoin. Galaxy gave him that best price. He went with them. They potentially, this is what I'm thinking, this is only my opinion, I think they shorted the market. I think they shorted the market, sent it to the exchanges, and then dumped the Bitcoin and then closed their short potentially. Or maybe it's still open. I don't know. But you got to make money on this type of trade. And if you beat out Coinbase Prime, if you beat out all these other OTC desks, you got to make money another way. And I think Mike Novogratz and Galaxy is dumping this Bitcoin into their short. What do you think about all that?
First of all, it's speculation. Obviously, you said that. I know. But secondly, there's a good chance that you could be right with that. Right? I mean, look. I mean, our space is one that people that have large, deep pockets and capital take advantage of money-making opportunities.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. And TradFi is a lot like that. They're just able to hide it much better. Anyways, I saw people on the timeline congratulating this guy, and I guess you got to because, he's an OG from 2011 when he bought his Bitcoin. But it made me kind of wonder, how do you come up with that number in your head? You know what I mean? And I think you mentioned that there could be some sort of acquisition deal or something that he was possibly in, which he needed the capital for. But I guess in his mind, it was 120. I'm going to sell this much, but. I mean, congratulations.
Well, he had
$8
billion in that wallet, right? So you reach out to these desks and you're like, hey, how much can I get for this? And they give you a number, but they're not going to buy your whole stack. They're not going to say, we have $8 billion just sitting waiting for you. No, they're going to say, hey, we have $2 billion. That's the most we can give you. So he probably just went with the largest one. But is he done selling? That's the thing. There's rumors that, he's part of the team that potentially buying the Tampa Bay Devil Rays or, the baseball team. I don't know if that's true or not. This is something that ChatGPT was saying the rumors were. But I don't know. But if he's a part of that or if he needs the money for something else, maybe, I mean, $8 billion can buy you potentially a good portion of the Lakers. You know what I mean? There's a lot of money that you could be doing with it. So maybe he's just trying to enjoy his money now. I mean, being an OG from 2011 shows that, you deserve everything you have. I mean, that wasn't that wasn't easy to do at all.
Yeah, it wasn't holding the entire time, but I'm sure he acquired a lot back then, so he might be okay. And I don't know, but that's just
might be okay. He has $8 billion.
No, I meant while he was waiting. While he was waiting, right? Obviously he was, and probably could sell a little bit here and there. But yeah, I mean, dude, congratulations to that guy. He waited that entire time, and that is a true hodler right there. And you get the reward for that, right? You get the reward for that, and that's what he's going through right now. Now, unfortunately, it did crash the markets, it seemed like last night, but
it wouldn't have though if he went with Coinbase Prime. It wouldn't have if he went with someone else. But going with scumbags like Galaxy Digital, again, this is just my opinion. You don't see Coinbase have an account on Bybit and Binance dumping the price. You just don't see that. So, but he made a decision to get as much as he could and didn't really care what happened to the price, but it is what it is. Vanguard is now the biggest shareholder of Michael Saylor's strategy, MSTR, but they still won't offer Bitcoin to their customers. So my wife used to work for this company, no longer works there anymore. And basically when people would call and say, hey, we want to buy Bitcoin, they would immediately I mean, to a point where they would potentially put you on they would flag your account for crypto. They would flag your account. And
really?
Yeah. So
even after everything
as of 2 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, they would flag your account. And sometimes, they would actually encourage you to leave depending on your account, right? They would encourage your firm, hey, if you want this, there's other accounts, and they would tell you, hey, maybe go in this direction. They were so against crypto. Vanguard, I mean, they're in Pennsylvania, right? So they're one of the bigger companies here. And it was, yeah. So but they own MicroStrategy. Does that make any sense at all?
No, it doesn't. Well, I guess to them, they're just we'll have the exposure this way, maybe, but I don't know. I thought they kind of regretted passing on it. Didn't they?
They fired the CEO, but they still didn't.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. If they fired the CEO and they realized they made a mistake.
Well, he resigned.
Okay.
but same.
Forced resigned, right? So
Well, we don't know that for sure, but same. But we'll see. Moving along here, Standard Chartered becomes the first global bank to offer institutional trading for Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is huge. This is saying the first sign of these banks really coming in, and the first global bank. This isn't just a U.S. bank, right? This isn't Bank of America. This is Standard Chartered. I mean, they are all over. They're one of the biggest banks in the world. But now now you don't have to open a Coinbase account. You don't have like all these bigger companies. You don't have to do any of that. You can buy it right through Standard Chartered, potentially, and them custodying it for you.
yeah, this is going to be a totally different approach to acquiring Bitcoin. Going through your bank, I don't think you and I would do that, but maybe someone that doesn't know much about like how to get Bitcoin and self custody and stuff. This is an easy sell, I think, to their customers if this is something that they're really trying to push. And it's an institution they already trust, right? Like with their fiat and stuff. So it's a no brainer. I think this is gonna definitely change just the public perception as well. Like we always talk about like, okay, people's grandmothers know what Bitcoin is and stuff, but this is going to be a normalized asset in society.
No, 100%. And let's just say you have a Standard Chartered account. You go there, you see your dollars, and then you see another slot that says crypto, and you click it, and then you see your Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right, all same app that you already see your money on. Right, I've already noticed that because I've been using Venmo to kind of cash out lately. And what happens is it's kind of cool because you go there and like I have PayPal stablecoin, and it's just sitting there in stablecoins, and then you have your dollars and everything, and I don't know, it's kind of cool to kind of see that. I mean, it is there's custody for you, so it's not a large amount, it's a very small amount. But it is kind of cool to kind of see that they all have a crypto option, PayPal itself, and then Venmo itself. And Cash App only has Bitcoin on it, but the other ones do have stablecoins and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Circle has applied with the OCC to create America's first digital currency bank, focusing on UTC's trust operation, reserve management, and institutional custody services, not traditional banking. So about a month ago, we reported that Circle filed for their banking license. They came out today and they basically said, hey, we want to be a cryptocurrency bank, the first digital currency bank focused on USDC as the primary operation. We don't want to custody accounts that are basically normal accounts. If you have an account with them, you have USDC. What do you think about this? I thought this was absolutely huge.
This is big, but this is the start of the industry, right? So it's I think Ripple will probably have some sort of connection with like banking and digital assets. We talked about wallets, how wallets are going to be in the game as well. So we're going to start to see some new brands. We'll see a couple old ones that also transition over as well. But this is cool because you basically normalize stable coins for the everyday person to where they're like, oh, okay, what's this? And I want to sign up. How can I benefit from this? Oh, this is where you can earn yield, or this. I know Circle, they said that they're not going to offer yield, but they'll probably offer some sort of product, I imagine, because you got to attract people there, right? But then they're going to have a lot more capital to work with too. Tether's been able to do it by strategy. Circle's going to be able to do it with this strategy, I think, as well. Like they already have a lot of backing and capital, but now they're going to be able to do what the banks do. They're going to be able to use other people's money.
Yeah, 100%. Could you imagine that though? Your bank is just stable coins. When you withdraw, you can, like when you go swipe your debit card, because you're not getting dollars out of an ATM. I don't do that, right? It was very rarely. And then you just take your debit card, and when you swipe, you're just using stable coins. There's no difference, right? And the other side, it's just the wire from your bank from your bank to their bank, and they just eliminate the stable coin, or if you get a wire in, they'll just add stable coins, right? So I don't know, I think this is absolutely awesome. And then let's say I want to buy something on Ethereum. I just withdraw from my bank right to my Ethereum wallet, and I can do DeFi. I don't know, dude. I love this.
Well, yeah, you know, you don't really pull out cash, right? So, it's, you know, there's ways that we've been able to use digital money with like Venmo and stuff like that. But now you can also do this with stable coins. I was thinking the only thing really would be like if you have a boys' night or something, you're playing poker, but now you can just send stable coins to the person that's going to hold all of the
Venmo,
money.
yeah.
Exactly, right. And Venmo's going to integrate it. I mean, they already have, I think. So,
They have
you know,
PayPal USDC. You can right now.
exactly.
You can just send it right over. They don't have
Exactly.
USDC though on PayPal.
The
Isn't that crazy?
PUSDC. That's why.
Well, they have PY. Yeah, PYUSD. Yeah. So which is their version of stablecoin. But I'm sure that, you know, it'd be stupid circle not to create a Venmo competitor, right? At that point. Or maybe they don't need a Venmo competitor at that point. Maybe I can just transfer you the money, right? I can just transfer you stablecoin just like I normally would from MetaMask to MetaMask. It'd be the same. So
for sure. Oh, I didn't see this. Stan put in a $5 super chat real quick. Sorry.
Nice.
It says thank you first of all, Stan. It says, would the channel know if Agent Hustle has hallucination prevention? For example, Hustle ordering Fruit Loops instead of intended BTC. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. You know, one thing I will say though is we've been getting some weird questions about like the AI products. Like, are you going to integrate like a regular kind of LLM side as well, to where you can ask it advice and questions? And you know, they said if they get enough demand, I think that's with any product, right? If you get enough demand, then you can integrate it in, and that's what they've said. Jeff actually said that about the Wizard on Merlin, and Jake said that about Hustle as well. So if there's enough demand to be able to order Fruit Loops with Hustle, then they'll put it in there.
Yeah, well, think about it this way, Stan, to answer your question. So let's just say you tell Agent Hustle, you say, hey, at 113, buy wrapped Bitcoin, right? Because there's wrapped Bitcoin on Solana. Buy wrapped Bitcoin, and what you're doing is you're locking in that command, and he gives it back to you and says, this is what I'm going to do. You can accept it. So once you accept it, he's not going to do anything else besides. So what he does is contract address and how much. He's not using the term wrapped Bitcoin. He just now, once you said wrapped Bitcoin, he went and found the wrapped Bitcoin and gave it to you. So you yourself should go double check and just make sure that contract address is the asset that you want before you say, yes, Hustle, let's lock this in. So he's already going to have the contract address and the amount you want to buy. So when it does hit that number, he can immediately buy it, right? So there's not going to be no hallucinations because he's going to refer back to you to accept it before you can do it. So when you come back, you're not going to have Fruit Loop coin, right? You're going to have wrapped Bitcoin because he only now has that contract address. He doesn't have the name of that asset.
Yeah. It's prevention of Fruit Loops. Okay, I got you. I read that backwards. I was like, what? Why does he want that? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure. They're doing tons of back testing, guys. So they're not going to put a product out there, especially for the conditional side. I mean, yes, people make mistakes here and there, but I think like whenever you're dealing with like conditional trading, they're going to definitely stress test as much as they can.
And they're going to refer back to you. He's going to make sure that he has his command right. He's just not going to say, okay, I got you. He's going to say, hey, are you sure you want to do this? And you're going to say, yeah, I mean, it's already happening. Then he says, in the channel's opinion, what catalyst will trigger the nation states to FOMO into Bitcoin? Inflation. You're already saying in the M2 money supply. We talk about it all the time, right? The M2 money supply is the number one reason why people are buying Bitcoin. These countries are buying Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is buying Bitcoin because they understand inflation. They understand that we have to work so hard for the dollar, but they can print it out of thin air. We need to get into money that you cannot print, that you cannot make more of. That is always it. And once more people realize that, more people that are going to buy into it, and every currency in the future is going to be backed by Bitcoin. It just depends on how far in the future we want to go. But I truly believe within the next 150 years, every single every single currency is going to be backed by some type of crypto, and hopefully that is Bitcoin, and maybe some other stuff too. Who knows? But in the future, I do think that that is why. That is the 100% reason. Would you want to give your opinion on that?
Yeah, well, I think there's going to be a different scale of FOMO. Like we have our degen FOMO, which is a very strong thing. But when you as a leader of a nation state, you want your nation to thrive and be wealthy and stuff. And this is like once in a century opportunity for that, right? And so it's the other ways you got to figure out how to increase your GDP by what you're known for, and that's great. You got to have that regardless of the Bitcoin side. But what this does is, like, you have countries like Bhutan. They're really smart. They've been mining it with their natural resources, and then they're taking profit. That's their prerogative, right? But other countries are going to see that, and they're going to say, wow, look at Bhutan. They've increased their GDP by this percent, and a lot of that has to do with Bitcoin. Same thing with El Salvador. And so that's where that nation state FOMO will happen. And I think it gets really serious once Bitcoin crosses over like the $300,000 threshold, heading towards $1 million. And that's when I think, you're going to see some big buy pressure. And remember, the supply and demand is the strongest attribute of Bitcoin. And so we're going to see some crazy numbers in the future.
Yeah, man. There's just too much demand and not enough supply, and we're gonna see that firsthand for sure. But let's jump into our next thing here, which is the crypto fear and greed. So last week we're at a 50. Yesterday we're at a 70. It's crazy. We dropped $10,000 potentially today, and last week was a 50. And you know what I mean. But my hint for you is pretty damn close to yesterday's number, if not on it.
Okay, so let's see, 70.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, right there. Yesterday
that
and
last
pretty much
last
identical.
statement pretty much gave it away.
It was hard because right after I said that, I was like, he's gonna pick 71, and I was like, I'll just give it to him because it was pretty much right there. We're at a 70 right now. Probably tonight. What are you thinking? 62, 61?
Oh, I don't think the drop off is that big yet.
Really?
I think maybe
$10,000.
65, 64. Yeah, I still think it takes a couple days for people to really get it out of their system. Like, one thing is, and I think that, leverage platforms and stuff like the large ones, they really bank on this, like the emotional part of it. You're talking about Bitcoin getting to 123,000 on Sunday. Why in the world would anybody be bearish about Bitcoin and crypto? And for that next week, it takes time for that to come out of your system, your brain. You know what I mean? So the kind of stuff that's been happening with the price action is what starts it. But I do think we get to 65 tomorrow, and if this continues down to that 113 area, that people are saying that was the previous local top, is that 112, 113, then I think we obviously continue down to like 60 and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to get into that in a little bit as well. But let's get into some Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, these guys are building a Bitcoin leverage trading platform on Botonix. Botonix is the spider chain. Botonix is incentivizing the chain by Bitcoin, guys. I've already done 200 transactions on Botonix because I want free Bitcoin. But when when Artura goes live, you'll be able to use Artura to potentially get that Bitcoin as well. And potentially they might have something for their XP rewards system as well. So definitely want to be a part of the Artura community and be a part of when they go live. It's going to be a big deal, but you won't have much time to accumulate as many points as you possibly can. Highly recommend getting as many points as you can and earning that for sure. And then on top of that, make sure you guys, when they do launch on Hemi, you guys be a part of that as well. We do know Hemi is incentivizing their chain with the Hemi token that is backed by Binance. Rumors has it that they might potentially be listing on Binance. We will see. But by using Artura over there, you gain the ARA token and potentially the Hemi token. So check out Artura.finance.
Yes, sir. We're going to have those guys on here in about 14 minutes, and we'll go over the UI a little bit maybe today, do a little peek-see over there. But, before we get into some price action, help us out, guys, on the YouTube side. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. And on X, guys, let's share the space. Appreciate all your help there. And then same thing on Abstract, guys. We love our Abstract crew as well. But let's take a look here at some price action, which has been pretty much down since after about, I would say, 30 minutes of the morning bell. There was this was a pretty dirty fake out. I'll tell you that right here. It got a lot of people. And we'll see what happens, how long this downtrend lasts for. But this uptrend was beautiful. This is where we saw that all-time high that was on Monday mornings at 2 a.m. Central Time. It's been down pretty much only since then. So if you were courageous enough to short here, you made a lot of money on the downside. But let's take a look here, the hour chart. Okay, so what's happening? You can see all the sell pressure that was a part of this right here on the MACD, and it looked like it was closing up. That's kind of where this was, and said nah, and it opened back up here. But what's going to happen here? So tomorrow we have PPI, so that isn't as aggressive. I think people don't look at it as much as the CPI, but it's probably more important, because you're talking about if the tariffs really start to impact, it's going to start there. So that number people are going to be looking for, right? But it looks like we're starting to weaken up and exhaust the hour chart MACD here. So are we going to come up? We had this fake out to the upside. Now it's starting to curl up here. It could be a possibility. I don't know that those, sell downs were really aggressive. You know what I mean? So like it's kind of hard to think that like we're gonna just go up only from here, especially whenever there's been talk about revisiting that previous local high, that 113 112. But what the indicators are telling me is that maybe we want a little bit of relief. We got some of that earlier today, but maybe we don't see it until later today. Maybe it's still a little bit of sideways that leads up to getting back to 117 118. I'm still not convinced that we don't go down further just because of how aggressive the sell pressure has been. So I do need like a full day of kind of positive price action to feel like we're okay, moved on from that idea. So that is still in my head, but what the indicators are telling me is that, we probably will, see some upside today. And we could get back to 118 second half of today and tag it, and then, work our way back down tomorrow. We have PPI, do it all over again, which wouldn't be fun, but let's see if that happens. Let's take a look here at the local support and resistance going back to 3 a.m. this morning, which is going to be a little bit skewed because CPI came in and stuff like that. So, but it's what we got. And what we're working with here at 116,500 is the support is starting to pick up. So these indicators are showing us, that, they're trying to tell us something here. So it does look like we might rise back up here. We don't really run into resistance until right here, and it's pretty dang strong right at 117. You see it's really lopsided on the resistance side, really heavy there, but if, we might work our way up here, get jump up here $600-700. As I'm saying that, it's going down though. So I'm not sure, but yeah, so that is what I'm seeing there for the hour chart. On the 4 hour, it's really showing that the sell pressure is not done, right? That's what I'm seeing here on the 4 hour. 4 hours probably my favorite time frame, just because it gives you a good forecast, it gives you a good feel, but again, it could be flipped pretty easy by the 1 hour if there's an aggressive push up or push down, depending on what it is showing here, but it's showing down further. But again, going to something like 118 only to get smacked back down to 115, that's not going to break that, obviously, right? We did have that little bitty green candle because of that, but it just went straight back down once we started to drop. So what do we need to look for to change this? We need the 1 hour chart to really bring us back up. We need to get back to 118. We need to show some strength. It says that it's exhausted on the sell side. So, I mean, the setup looks good that we could, but that 117 has so much resistance right there. So we definitely got to get past that first, and then we can maybe break this down. But as of right now, the 4 hours telling us maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, tomorrow is Wednesday. So maybe Wednesday and Thursday, we have a little bit of downside left to go. All right, taking a look at the daily chart looks okay. We did break down a little bit here. After so many good days, we had about like 6 good days in a row. We have our really first big red daily candle in a long time. So I imagine this is going to be really tough to break down. Possible. We've seen it happen before, but if you look at these big legs up, right? Like for example, this one right here, that's kind of similar to this. There was a big red candle, kind of break that down, go sideways until we had another series of legs up there. So we'll see if this continues, but it's definitely not the best start if you're hoping for price action to the upside today. We'll see. We'll see if we can just dwindle. Maybe we just dwindle up, I should say, this candle, and leave a little bit of more of a wick there. That would be a good, decent rebound if we can get back to like 117.5, but we'll see. And then let me get to the weekly real quick for Bitcoin. All right. So the weekly looks like, a lot of weekly candles, we've started off red and ended green. So that doesn't mean that we won't end this week with a green candle. Remember that range that we always talked about? For me, it was always 115 to 130. We got to 123, so we kind of hit right in the middle there. I never said for sure we would get to 130, but I do have a good feeling that 130 is still on the table, at least close to it, 127, 128. I know people like Colin Talks Crypto says 150 is really what he's seeing, but I think that's a little overextended. We'll see. Because I do think there's going to be a pullback that's going to happen in between summer and fall, and then fall kind of sideways up into winter, early winter, late fall. But yeah, so the weekly, not sure why my MACD is not showing here. That's a little weird though. Yeah, but anyways, let me see if I can reset this. But the red candle starting the week, not a horrible thing yet. Obviously we'll see how Sunday plays out. One thing that I'll say though is getting to 113. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel great about it. I feel like that's a $10,000 swing back down. You're in the camp that agrees that with some people that says that it's healthy. I think going down 10,000 could be healthy if we tag it really quick and bounce back up. But if it happens really quick, but if it's a drawdown that takes some time, I don't know. I feel like that's just going to be painful drawing down to one. But again, if it ignites alts, then I think people will be okay because they'll kind of look past that, right? So, but anyways, looking at the Bitcoin weekly, we look pretty good. Other than that start to the weekly candle here, the setup looks great, actually, to be honest. We'll see how we end the week here. And then the last thing, I do want to check the others for the weekly because I haven't checked that, I think, in a couple of days here. So the others also looks pretty good. You see here because Bitcoin looks good. So the others are going to look good. Again, waiting for Ethereum to do its thing. And hopefully, the others will look great if Ethereum really takes off because they're going to really follow that. So that's what I'm seeing there. Take a quick look here at the crypto bubbles. Let's go to the top 100 tokens here. All right. We're seeing a little bit of a, drawdown, right? Probably 75, 25. No, I would say about 70 or 65, 35% red. Some notables: Fartcoin down 5.7%. I don't know if that's good. Usually it's not. Pengu is on a tear. Pengu's up. Yeah, it's up 16.4%. We obviously love Dog Army and Dog in general, but Pengu, you got to give respect to Luca Nets and what he's been able to do there, right? And so they're up 16.4%. Doge down 2.9%. SPX up 1.7%. Bonk up 8.3%. Ondo up 2.1%. Virtuals down 4.3%. XMR down 2.6%. Pump finally getting a pump because that, the retracement on Pump was pretty significant. I think it was down 9%. So it's rebounding today. Dog with Hat up 3.9%, and it's in the top 100. What else we got here? Tau up 5.6%. Quant down 3.6%. Pepe up 1.6%. Bitcoin down 2.6%. Where's that Ethereum at? Ethereum up 1.3%. Uh-oh. Has it ignited? No, not yet, but hopefully soon. We will see. Let's take a look here at the top 200. Really quick, because I know that we got to go through roll call real quick. A Dog down 8.3%. That is not great, guys. Meme Land down 11.2%. I know what it is now because it's been in the top for so long. What else we got? We got Eigenlayer here up 2.6%. That's going to wrap it up, guys, for the Bitcoin and crypto price action.
Yep, 100%. Josh says the real pullback, in my opinion, is in September. These next 2 months should be green months. I hope you're right, man. I definitely hope you're right. But let's jump into roll call real quick before we get into our next segment here. And in this show, we do track the first comment of the day. And the first comment is the great Lackey Lukey. Congratulations to you, Lackey. You have officially have win number 36 on the year. It did look like WebDraw was catching back up, but you, my friend, took that and ran with it. Make sure your name spelled, and I'll just show it real quickly. So this is it right here. So congratulations to you. You got that win for this week. So WebJoe's Monday, like Luigi's Tuesday. It seems like this is a 2-man show at this point, but congratulations, guys. Bitcoin Frog on the line. A lot of questions from Arita here. Arita says, question about Tokyo Wallet. I recently tested it out and discussed my feedback with their team. They seem to have no concept of cleanly separating Taproot and SegWit addresses. For example, when you send from your SegWit wallet, it uses your Taproot change address. They seem to want it that way. This is basically gives me zero desire to switch from Xverse to Tokyo. Yeah, I mean, definitely something to bring up with the team. I mean, at the end of the day, they don't feel like that really is a big deal to them to kind of have that. Unisat uses that same way, right? So they didn't just copy and paste Xverse like a lot of other wallets did. They actually created their own aspect. And if they feel comfortable that your assets are safe, then I do trust their judgment. So Cash Cats is here. Shout out to Cash Cats with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Shout out to Cash, my guy. Appreciate you, my friend. Then we have Lackey Lukey. He said new week, a new all-time high. Let's go. Milam Yuri says, yo, Lackey, congrats. Choda is here. Then we have Mats is here. Shout out to Mats. Hydro Sapien is in the building. Shout out to you, my friend. Hajib says, we need good news to bring some pumpamentals. Yeah, Bitcoin's headline driven right now, right? We need a headline. We need something, but there is a lot of things coming this week. I mean, we talked about the 3X that could potentially pass. Tomorrow's PPI number, and there's so much more. We're going to get into all that. We got WebDro again. Erdrick is here 2 days in a row. Erdrick, appreciate you. Tau looking strong. Tau seems to be one of the strongest altcoins, in my opinion. You got to remember their halving is in December, so they're going to have, and I wonder what's going to do that price if that run up in November. We'll see. Bitcoin is Truth is here. Spindrift is here. Vader Time. Shout out to Vader Time, man. Every single day, you guys. K99 Chips and Dip is here. Abstract. Shout out to Abstract. And we got Glass Hopper, my guy, said, let's go. Chief Axel's here with some rocket ship square and a heart. Appreciate you, my friend. No is here. Shout out to No in the building. Choda says, let's effing go. Take BTC to 150K this month. I would absolutely love that for sure. Myself said, I don't consider alt rallies to be alt seasons either. Alt seasons happened to in the end of the cycle when whales rotate out of Bitcoin. Yeah, we're not seeing that. We're definitely seeing the Bitcoin dominance stay strong. You are 100% correct on that. Shout out to Stan with the super chat from earlier. Appreciate you, my friend. Myself says, investing it all about positioning yourself. It's better to position yourself into things that are undervalued and then overvalued. 100%. Get in undervalued, sell it overvalued. 100%. Rick G says, GM fan, miss you guys. Super busy in real life. Love to see the BTC pimp. Let's up and go. Yes, my friend. Appreciate you. Stan, we already got to this comment. Josh, man, appreciate you being here. Malam Yuri. And Stan says, is there an active use case for quant? Thanks. Not really sure what he means by that, but
yeah, I think he's talking about the. So I know that they're an ERC 20 token, but they had a plan to, I think, launch their own environment. I think they do like ledger tracking or something like that. Interoperability between blockchains and enterprise networks. So I know that they're very institutional friendly type of, you know what I mean, the ISO 222 group. They're in that group. So hopefully that answers your question. And then Rita TV, appreciate the feedback for one. Number two, I agree with Shizzy. That's probably what their mindset is, but we'll kind of discuss it and just let them know what the feedback is.
Yeah, I mean, if your assets are safe, then it doesn't really matter, right? I trust Magic and the team over there. But let's jump into our next segment here. So every single Tuesday, we like to bring our good friends over from Artura. Artura.finance is the website, guys. I want you guys all to be checking this out. The launch is coming up very soon. They're going to be launching on Botonics, the Spider Chain. They're going to give us more information on everything. So just excited to bring these guys up right now. Let's do it. Let's bring up Murion. Let's bring up Instant. Guys, welcome to OnChain Revolution. Thank you guys so much for being here.
GM, how is it going, guys?
Doing well. Just feeling a little lost with the price action. Obviously, with the CPI that came out today, people were having expectations that didn't really even flow into the price action, in my opinion. But there's just a lot of profit taking, it seems like, from getting to 123,000. I don't know. How do you see it? How do you see it, Murion?
Well, we need a retracement. It's healthy. It's pretty healthy. We left pretty huge gaps on the BTC, so it was like obvious that we were gonna have a dip to fill those out. And you just need to zoom out and follow and ride the trend. We are not bearish, so just adapt. And we also like liquidated some late longers as well, leverage longers. But I don't think we are at the end of this run at the BTC currently.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not alone in saying that. We have Colin Talks Crypto. He has this chart basically saying, hey, we need a retest. This looks like it's
Yeah.
around 114, a bounce up. And then you got Mags, another person I've been following. He said neckline retest, same thing, coming down, touching the retest before a spark back up to 150. So two different people saying the same thing. And then you just said it as well. So, I mean, you're definitely not alone in that thought process.
Yeah, I can see it dropping to 115K. There's a huge fair value gap open. So we'll see how that goes. That's like our narrative to move upwards. So it's pretty healthy and obvious.
Yeah.
To be afraid of.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know, it's like you whenever you feel like your thought process of the current market kind of is, you know, throwing you off and stuff like that. I think it's good to, you know, see other perspectives and kind of zoom out a little bit, take a deep breath and stuff like that. But I'm curious. What is it like? I'm curious with Instant. What is it like for like a platform like Artura, right? Obviously, you guys are specializing in perps and stuff like that. To I guess go into like this new all-time high. Do you feel like this is exciting for the project because you guys got a lot of stuff rolling out? Do you think the timing is kind of lining up for builders right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in even if like it's not directly impacting us, I think there are some I guess like we're in the ecosystem, we're in the periphery, and I think it's really cool to be building on this Bitcoin technology on botanics and such, and it's also really cool. I think like for us especially, I think there's like two really big like dominant narratives right now, and the first one obviously is Bitcoin, and then I think with like the success of Hyperliquid and perps, like all these exchanges adding like perps and Hyperliquid success. I think what we're trying to do is take these two dominant narratives in the market right now and just sort of put them into the platform of Artura. So if Bitcoin can climb higher, that's great for us. Although we're going to see a lot of longs on our perp decks for sure. So
100%. And just to add to that too, like the best thing for leverage traders is volatility, right? I mean that's
exactly.
how, I mean, that's how you can make the most money if you ride it up, ride it down and stuff like that. What's your opinion on the volatility and potentially launching during a volatile period of the markets?
I think there's two ways to view that. I think volatility is can be good for traders, obviously, because you can capitalize on both aspects. Especially if like if you're just purely trading and you're not like actually like you don't have any of the assets personally, then if a price goes down, then like you predict that accurately, then that's great. And if it goes up and you predict that accurately, that's also great for you. As a builder, I think it's always preferential to be delivering a product in a stable environment. Just because I think for investors and for other like projects and integrations, obviously there's a little bit more safety and a little less risk involved when it comes to hopping on board some new and creative ideas. I think like we're kind of in like the best of both worlds, like right now, where there's Bitcoin's like up, doing really well. It's a pretty safe environment. I think there's a lot of like actions and people are moving into new things and launching. So I think we're really excited. And then for traders, there's maybe there's like less volatility on well, I guess there's like quite a bit of volatility right now with the price moving up in BTC. So if it's pretty easy to capitalize on that for everyone who's using our platform.
Yeah, man. I recently came across strategies of using leverage and using spot and maybe some staking as well. But basically, let's just say you have an asset like Ethereum, you stake it, right? And so you're earning that 6% yield or 4% if you use Lido. And then at the same time, you actually short it. So you actually stayed net negative or net positive because of you're earning that yield. Is that something that you see people using Artura for potentially to kind of get that type of that gain?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think ultimately we're trying to be a the built a whole DeFi super app, and we're going to have like a number of like products and features that we're going to continuously roll out. And if you're like a hardcore trader and you want to speculate massively and make big moves, like we're here to facilitate that. And if you kind of just want to do some things that are less risk adverse and just kind of earn through some yields, like obviously like that's another aspect that we're here to deliver as well. So you don't just have to be a trader, you don't have to be like a massive risk trader to use a perp dex like ours.
For sure. I was wondering, we got to test out the platform. I know you guys are very, very close to kind of having that to the public. How do you feel about it? First of all, do you feel like you guys have your platform is much different than the previous one? If you can maybe break that down.
Yeah. I can also let Murion, after I finish, like give me his thoughts on it as a a perp trader as well. But I think it's so much smoother and so much faster. Like it's very clear, like if you're gonna input a trade or put an order, like you can see like the order moving through the system. So like there's a little less hangups on like kind of what's going on. It's a lot quicker now. And I think like we provided a lot more information for traders to learn from and to know exactly what's happening in the background. And we also have like a lot more features too. So like if we go to the website as well, like we're going to be, we have a vault, kind of, as I said before, a referral program, but we're also getting ready to unleash some more trading competitions in the future. So there's big events coming. And I think all of us are really proud of what we're building here. And there's going to be a lot more features to come and a lot more improvements to still be made along the way. So this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg, but we have so much more being built as well.
Yeah, I love it. We tested it out last week, and it is sleek. It's really quick as well. Murion, curious from a trader's perspective, what do you like most about it?
I like the smoothness. I like the simplicity of it. It's like similar UI to CEX exchanges, which is going to be pretty good for all the new users, so they can like get a hand of it. And like Instant said, it's much smoother this time. It's fast. We don't have many like stuff that you need to confirm. So I'm excited for the launch and I'm ready to use it.
Yeah, we are too. Trading right now for me is really fun, especially when Bitcoin goes up to 123. It could be tricky like days like today, but for the most part, like having a platform that's reliable and stuff like that is important. But I wanted to pull up the website. Is that okay to do? Instant?
Yeah, totally. Let's we can show it off.
All right, let me go ahead and bring this up here real quick. Share screen. All right, cool. So the website is app.artura.finance. All right, so let's go to the homepage real quick. I have to put that back in. It's loading up here. All right. Oh, I guess it took me there. Yeah. So when you go to the homepage, you have to click the app, I guess, to get here.
Yeah, just the homepage is artura.finance. And then the app will take you there.
Gotcha. Yeah. So when you go to the homepage, artura.finance, you'll click enter app, and that will take you here. And so this is where you guys trade, right? So, right now I know you guys are kicking it off with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you do have USDT here, and with Botonics, they have their own PUSD as well. And for the audience, you guys, we're going to have a tutorial video for you guys on how to get PUSD. So it's a really simple process. But whenever I go to Vault here, can you talk a little bit about the vaults?
Yeah, so the vault this is where we're able to provide liquidity for the platform for everybody to trade on. We do have you can deposit PUSD. However, we are going to onboard a lot more different collateral in the future. This is just the ones are the good friends at Palladium that we were able to get initially, and we're also going to make sure that bridging other like collateral such as USD or some other variations is a lot smoother as well. So this is more to come in the future, but you can deposit here. Obviously, you can select a lockup period if you wish, and that'll give you a boost for yield. Additionally, we do have this is you earn yield from trading fees on the platform, so you're kind of like a part of the house if you deposit. Which is always good to be part of the house. And then we can get up to like 25 to 30% APY on this. So obviously, like it's a pretty good exchange. And this is again like one of the ways in which you can kind of get involved in sort of this merger between Bitcoin and perp dexes, and and you don't have to risk anything. So yeah, it's like a really simple way to just kind of get involved in the platform, earn yields, profit, and you don't have to have like really any risk in doing so.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity, I think, for the people that maybe you're not really, into risk and trading and stuff like that, and you want to still earn. This is how you do it. And, the best leveraged platforms have an option like this. And the fact that you guys, have this ready for launch is going to be great. So PUSD, is that going to be primarily the only asset that you can add here? Or are you guys going to add Bitcoin and other assets as well?
Yeah, well, this is going to be the first asset at launch, we believe, and then we're going to have more bridging and more available. We're just kind of waiting on different word from people providing some liquidity to sponsor these assets. But we should have a lot more available. So whatever is on Botonics when we go live, and whatever is available on Hemi when we go live there, whatever the staples are for their ecosystem, we should have that available.
Awesome. And then there's this compete tab here. Can you get into that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, so this is kind of just a this is actually a bit of a showcase, I guess, of our future competitions and leaderboard. So obviously, every good perp dex has a leaderboard, so people can flex what they're doing. And we're gonna have competitions for our XP program for users to earn points. This is gonna be another leaderboard as well for you to show off, and obviously we're going to have rewards based on the top of the leaderboard. So this is just kind of like, it's not a feature that is really like live yet, but in the future it'll be represented better.
Awesome. And so you're going to show win rate, your P&L, all that stuff here. So this will be good for you guys to kind of track and just show off to the entire community there of how well you're doing or how poor you're doing. So.
Well, speaking of how poor you're doing, I actually just put in a trade here. So I am 25x long right now on $10. I'm playing it safe. I'm just playing a little gamble here, but I'm down 6% on my trade right now. I'm coming back, baby. I'm coming back though, 5% now. But
I think I have a long trade. I have a long trade with you right now. So I put in $5.
I don't think anybody will ever see a position Shizzy's in where he shorted Bitcoin ever.
I don't know how to short Bitcoin. I mean, I see how. I just can't. I can't in my body. I just can't do it. I just can't. Like I feel like I failed in life.
Some beads of sweat start rolling down as you hover over the button.
If I did short, I'd probably be a good trader, but I just can't. I just can't find it inside me to do it. But yeah.
So you just put that trade in. Did you think like it feels like it's a lot smoother though, the platform for once you get the PUSD on there, it feels like it's a pretty smooth process.
Oh, 100%. Like it was super easy. I just came up here, I just put $10 in. I took your little bar here. You guys had it at 2, and I was like, nope, jack that up to 25. And then I just hit long, and then within seconds I had an order here. So I do love the experience. So far so great. I love the dark aspect of it. Like I don't know. I love the UI. I think the UI is beautiful, and I remember playing with your UI back months ago. And it wasn't as great, and then you guys just keep improving it, and today it just looks ready. It looks ready.
Yeah,
sure.
That's good. Always good to have user feedback, so I'm glad to hear.
Amen.
All right. Is there any other announcements that you guys have for Artura or the community and audience?
Just stay tuned for our public mainnet where you can, obviously use all the features and the platform displayed here. So we're very excited. It's, the first step of many, but we're glad it's right around the corner.
Sounds good. And then Murion, my last question for you is 130,000 Bitcoin. Is it on the table for July?
Let's see. I don't like predictions. You know me.
I know that's why I always ask you them. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Just observe. But I
well,
know the ones are Tao bull posters, so it's doing really, really fine.
well,
There are some, yeah, there are some alts that are doing like pretty awesome, like Sui, Tao, Say. Those are
Pengu.
Pengu as well. Those are the strongest one currently, and those are the winners probably for the cycle, because the strongest one will show their strength now.
What do you think the strongest meme coin is? We talked about a lot about Farcoin. I see you posting about Farcoin a lot. I see you posting about Pengu a lot. What is your favorite? If you could only pick one, which one would you roll with?
I will go with Farcoin probably. It will be like
Farcoin.
the play of the cycle.
Do you like it best because it's funny or because you like the price action?
It's funny, and I like the price action, to be honest.
Okay.
That's exactly my point. Like a lot of these meme coins, like I love Doggo Moon. It's my personal favorite, right? But like it's not funny. Like Farcoin is like, imagine sitting at a table like, guys, I think you guys should all invest in Farcoin, right? Everyone's gonna look at you like you're crazy.
At Thanksgiving this year, everybody has to say that to their family when they're eating.
Yeah, you're making money off Farcoin. It's insane.
It's like, remember when I told you guys all about Bitcoin at like 10,000 and you guys all ignored me? Don't miss out on Farcoin. Like that would be like the best meme ever.
Farcoin to 10 soon. Let's go.
I want to get your opinion on this. This is global M2 money supply versus Bitcoin. We've seen some deviation back here. We've seen some deviation in here. We are getting some deviation here. I talked to you about this about a few weeks ago, and we got your opinion on it. And you said you kind of believed in it. Do you still believe in this? Do you still believe in this, even with the kind of the deviation we have right now?
I mean, yeah, we can follow that. It's not the main thing I use, nor do I ever like look at it. But looking at how it respected in the history, I can go down and go with the route of the global M2 money supply pumping and BTC following as well.
So this is showing September 175. Do you believe that is possible?
That much I don't think so, but everything is possible in crypto. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, if we don't get it, we're going to get severe deviation. Let's just say we go up to 150 and we kind of, but we, like I said before, we have got severe deviation before.
Yeah.
So I kind of think we outpace this a little bit. I think we have a crossover and we get above this. I'm actually thinking 200K potentially by pretty much the end of Q3. Am I crazy for thinking that? Am I just absolutely insane?
I mean, you're just a believer, so.
A believer. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys for your time. God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we are gonna have a pretty good period from September up to the winter. It should be a pretty good price action.
I couldn't agree more. But I'd love to give you guys stage one last time. If there's anything you guys missed out, right now, we'll start with you, Murion.
Yeah, nothing to say much. We are ready, and just be patient. We are coming along nicely, so just follow the news, and it's gonna be a show.
Yep. And instant.
Yeah, just be ready to try our platform. It's coming out any day now. You can see the announcement first on Discord, and then we'll go on release it on Twitter. So stay up, step to date with all our alpha on Discord, and then be ready. Get your PUSD ready because we're ready to roll.
Yeah, man. And we got, like Yagobi said, we're going to be doing tutorials for you guys, teach you guys exactly how to get over there. It's super simple to get over there right now. You guys can just go to Botonics, use their bridge. You can use just send Bitcoin directly to the wallet. In 19 blocks, you got it. But if you cannot wait, you can use Stargate that finance. That's one that me and Yagobi both use as well. But we're going to have full tutorial for you guys to get over there, get your PUSD, and get you guys all set up. But guys, appreciate your time and look forward to next week.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers.
Hey guys. Absolutely awesome as always, man. Really appreciate those guys, man. You guys again are so lucky. Well, I'm so lucky to kind of be able to sit here and talk to builders, right? A lot of these builders, man, are going to be in a lot different place this time next year, in my opinion. So being able to talk to them when the platform is pre-launch is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the things that we focus on is trying to get these builders early on the show, so you can get to know them, right? And learn about projects that are early. I don't know too many shows from last cycle that had that kind of opportunity for their audience to get the actual builders on consistently weekly. So really cool stuff there.
Yeah, man, we did have I got a bunch more stuff, but got a question real quick from Josh. Josh says, what are your guys' thoughts on XRP before you go? Thanks. So I have a love-hate relationship with XRP. I know the word love probably is like what, but so for a long time, the longest time I hated XRP because I thought XRP was made to be what they always said. You're going to send XRP from bank to bank, but in my head, if it drops, 0.001, you're going to lose billions of dollars, right? For like within a few trades. It didn't make any sense to me when you have stable coins, but now they're building XRPL, and not just XRPL. Now they have an EVM version of that as well. They have RLUSD. They also have partnership with BNY Mellon, which is the the first bank started by Alexander Hamilton himself. Like, I don't know, man. Like the last 6 months, I've gotten really bullish on XRP. I see it more than I used to. Like I said, I hated it before. I used to hate XRP. But I'm actually enjoying XRPL. I haven't really opened the wallet yet, but I think that it's kind of seeing and RLUSD and the DeFi products that are being built there. I don't know, man. I'm definitely having they have innovation, and I'm respecting the innovation that they're having. What's your opinion?
Yeah, same thing. They're constantly staying relevant and by being in headlines, right? They know this game in terms of the financial industry, and so I think that gives them a leg up. And so they know how to, put their name in the headlines, right? And so whenever you do that, people pay attention to you in our space and number go up. So we've seen that with them recently.
100%, man. All right, let's jump into the next thing here. So we have Coinbase market cap hits a new record high of 100 billion for the first time, with its stock closed at 394 yesterday. I mean, it's down today a little bit, but it was up 1.8%, hit an all-time high yesterday. But there's a lot of reasons why. So Brian Armstrong tweeted yesterday, he said, big week for Base. Don't miss the new day one event on Wednesday. And then I looked into what that was. Big week on Base. So expect the headline reveal, a wallet rebrand, rumored to be the Base app, plus deep dives into developer tools, meme coin era strategy, and how Base plans to grow its ecosystem. So this is all kicking off tomorrow, Wednesday at 3 p.m. PT, which is 6 p.m. Eastern. They're going to reveal the roadmap, everything. I'm going to be watching that. It's going to be really cool. But the rumor is they have an abstract like dashboard ready for Base. What do you think about this big announcement that could be coming tomorrow?
I think that's going to be huge. That's shown to be like the right move to onboard normies, right? So
yeah,
I'm excited for it. I want to see more ecosystems and environments do this. It's all about onboarding the everyday person that doesn't know much about our space, and a dashboard like Abstract has is big.
Yeah, 100%. They have the marketplace, right? With Coinbase itself, they have the chain with Base Chain. They're using Optimism to roll up those transactions and put them on Ethereum. And then they have this, right? Bitcoin-backed loans across $1 billion in collateral on Coinbase. Let me show this chart because it's nuts. So there's $1 billion worth of Bitcoin that is being borrowed against. This is what the rich do. They don't sell their Bitcoin. They borrow against it, right? They don't sell their real estate. They borrow against it. This is absolutely insane, but it does show that people are smart and they're not over leveraging themselves because they do know that Bitcoin is volatile. So there's about $1 billion in Bitcoin that is backed by loans, and then you have about 400 million in loans. So they're saying about 40% TVL, which is really smart. A lot of this got to be smart money that's doing this, because this is great to see, honestly. But shout out to Coinbase, man, just being better than everyone else.
Yeah, how much money do they make on that, servicing that? A lot.
Well, they're gonna have to find yield for that, right? I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, you're right, because you have to pay for the loan itself. You're paying interest on that loan, right? So yeah, you're right. They're making money on the interest. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. And they can potentially, can they? I don't know if you can.
No, because that would be like, yeah, I mean, whenever you stake into something that has that agreement, then you're agreeing to that, to have them custody or like find different opportunities for you. But like something like this, no, they're just gonna earn the interest on what you put in there or what you take out.
Well, an Ethereum backed loan, you could do that because you could go on the Ethereum chain in a very safe way and get that 6%.
Yeah,
but you
centralized approach, but
yeah, for sure. But no, it won't be a centralized approach. It would just be them taking your Ethereum and staking it, right? And take a loan against it. You can't do that yet.
Centralized approach, as in their service, they're the third person that's servicing your, doing.
Well, no, you wouldn't be getting the yield. So they do have a staking program where you can do that now. You can go and put your ETH on there and get staked ETH, Coinbase staked ETH. But I'm just saying, like, they could, if let's just say I have Ethereum and I want to take a loan out against it, potentially they could just take that Ethereum that I have in collateral. Like right now, the collateral is $1 billion for Bitcoin. Imagine if Bitcoin gave yield for locking you on the blockchain. Like, imagine that.
No, I agree with you, but like that has to be something that the user obviously knows about. I don't think they could get away with doing it without approval. You know what I mean? Like you still have to approve it.
Since they're a marketplace, though, they could just give you Ethereum that's on the marketplace, right? So they'd always have the collateral. It would be they'd probably just need like double the amount of collateral.
Yeah, but I definitely think there would be like legality issues if they're doing this like on the constant. You know what I mean? Like they would just have to be something in the user agreement, which small fine print probably situation. I'm not saying that they wouldn't be trustable. I'm saying that they're legal wise, they would have to like notify somehow, some way.
Yeah, but I mean, if they say, hey, like when you have to when you do the Bitcoin loan, you have to go all the way down to the bottom. There's a freaking 3 pages of stuff. They could probably put that in there. But yeah,
I bet you whenever like we sign up for a new bank account, I bet you like the paperwork and stuff in the small fine print, it says that like that they can use our money to loan out. You know what I mean? So it would be something like that, but no one thinks about that when they sign up for a bank account. You know what I mean?
It's true. Very true. No, 100%. SharpLink Gaming adds 24,371 ETH worth $73 million of fiat Coinbase Prime. So yesterday they bought off of Galaxy Digital. The week before that, they bought off the Ethereum Foundation. And then yesterday they go and they get off Coinbase Prime. These guys, because they became the largest corporate Ethereum holder, now holds 280,000 Ethereum. They have more ETH than the Ethereum Foundation at this point, and they got 99.7% of that staked, bro. Staked.
Yeah, they're the MicroStrategy of Ethereum, right? So
crazy.
Yep.
Crazy. I don't know what games they make. I'm gonna go look into seeing what kind of games and stuff because it's a gaming company.
You want to support them?
You're like, not support them, but like they're gonna have a lot of money. They might make some cool stuff, right? So
yeah, sure.
All right, so we talked about potential earnings period in crypto. So a whale or institution, kind of leaning towards more institutions, spent $100 million USDT to buy 33,000 Ethereum, an average price of 3,013, then distributed ETH across 9 wallets. People are thinking that this is an institution and they'll have to report this if it is. They'll report it in the Q4. Well, it'll be in Q4 when they have to report it, but they potentially waited until July to do this so they don't have to report it. They can keep accumulating before they report it. So they don't. If a public traded company buys Ethereum right now, they technically don't have to report that until earnings in Q4. So, but Cointelegraph is thinking that this is another institution kind of copying SharpLink's approach here.
I mean, probably. Why wouldn't you? You saw what happened whenever people copied MicroStrategy, and then also the difference is not just acquiring Bitcoin now. MicroStrategies probably look for so many different solutions on how to earn off of the Bitcoin they have, but like it's already there in place for the way that Ethereum works from a functional and foundational level, right? So. To be honest, if you want me to be honest, it makes more sense to do it this way. Obviously, you want to catch Bitcoin's rise to $1 million. So I get why they did that and when he did it and all this stuff. But people are seeing Ethereum, and that's why I think Tom Lee says Ethereum is the next Bitcoin because of this. It's like not only will it go up in value is what they're betting on, but you're gonna be able to earn on it.
Yeah, and exactly. And what happens when 70% of all the Ethereum staked? Like what happens? right? It's stupid to hold Ethereum and not stake it if you're a long-term holder, right? Because you're missing out on potential 4 to 6% a year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously the hyper supply and demand situation could happen. I think people think that right away. It's like that's kind of what the whole point of staking was like, create like a supply shock. And so people are thinking that it could happen if institutions really come in, buy up all this Ethereum, start really staking it in large amounts, and then from there, not sell it until they feel like we've reached like close to the peak.
Yeah, 100%. And then, yesterday we saw this company came out of nowhere, NASDAQ listed Hyperon, previously Innova, bought 120,000 more hype worth $5 million, bringing its total to 1.4 million hype. So this was a company that went public yesterday at not public. They did via SPAC. So technically the SPAC bought them out and now they became the SPAC. But in reality, they're just a hyper liquid holding company. Very similar to some of these Bitcoin strategy companies. They have no product. All they do is buy and stake hype. And pretty nuts that they're hype token of all tokens to do this. They're using hype, but like you said yesterday, it's because of the tokenomics.
Exactly, the tokenomics that Hyperliquid has created has been really solid. People were expecting a huge dump after their airdrop, but what they did was they created a business model first. Off of that business model, they were able to generate a good amount of fees that led to an enormous amount of fees. And with those portion of those fees, they prop up the token price, right? So they're able to really show a strong token, and I think that's why this company did this, right? It makes sense for them. They understand the science behind it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's I'm curious to see what happens, because you know my opinion on this. I think it goes to 120, 130 $30 before a huge era of these exchanges coming after them, right? But we'll see. I could be wrong, and hopefully it gets to a point where it becomes illegal. It was legal for them to attack last cycle's stablecoin, but this time I don't know if potentially you can go to jail for that type of stuff, but we'll see. Blockchain Group raises $6 million. So out of the $6 million, $5 million was from Adam Back to ramp up its Bitcoin treasury strategy and boost Bitcoin per share. So Adam Back has invested in 5 companies his entire life, right? Well, publicly. So he invested something in 2000 and then something in 2008, but he hasn't really made any investments besides his own company, outside of that. But this year he's invested in 3 companies. The Blockchain Group I just mentioned, H100 Group, which is SEK 21 million convertible loan facility, and then Kindly MD, post IPO equity investment. We know Kindly MD is from the Bitcoin Magazine guy. What's his name? The guy there.
David Bailey.
Yeah, David Bailey. So isn't that crazy? Adam Back has, since Bitcoin came online in 2009, Adam Back has not invested in any company besides his company. And now this year he's invested in 3 different Bitcoin buying companies that convert bonds and loans into Bitcoin.
Yeah, because he believes in this flywheel, that like Bitcoin, if it continually goes up, the people that are selling their traditional assets into Bitcoin are going to be the big winners. Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have shown that. Adam Back already knew that. He's a smart guy. He's been there since the start, so he knows that this is a smart move, right? And I think most people in the space realize it as well. So, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, 100%. And then people say, would Satoshi approve of what MicroStrategy is doing? I mean, Adam Back is somebody who I truly believe is one of the 3 people that are Satoshi. And if that is the case, Adam Back is saying, yes, I do, because I'm investing in them. I own money. So it's kind of yeah, well, maybe Satoshi saw this the entire time. Maybe Satoshi kind of planned on companies buying Bitcoin for its treasury. And potentially, got to remember, Adam Back created proof of work. He created Hashcash, which is proof of work, right? But he just couldn't figure out the double spend until potentially He did it in 2008. That's kind of the reason why I think that he is one of the 3 members of Satoshi. The other 2 being Nick Zabos, who's very, very similar to how he writes white papers with how Satoshi wrote the white papers, and then Hal Finney, who received the first 10 Bitcoin ever transactions. So that's the 3 people that I think are Satoshi, and Satoshi approves in potentially these companies. So we just mentioned KALEO MD. They raised $51 million yesterday, over the weekend. In just 72 hours, they raised $51 million. So people are definitely bullish on these type of companies. And then Bit Digital, you mentioned Tom Lee earlier, they raised $67 million via direct offering to buy more Ethereum for its treasury. So this is getting nuts. And then NASDAQ listed UpXE files for a $200 million private placement to buy more Solana. And 1.6 million Solana post close over twice its prior 735,000 Sol balance. So I just mentioned 4 different coins, right? Sol, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Hype that are being bought by these publicly traded companies to put just to hold and stake in some scenarios.
Yeah, it's happening, right? And you go back to, people that don't agree with Adam Back and stuff like that. I mean, let's just be straightforward. Right now, the Bitcoin treasury companies is like a hot category right now, right?
Yeah.
And so there's companies that are people that have large deep pockets that want to invest in them because they believe in the method, the model. Now you have maxis right now that are complaining about it, but they're complaining about the people they used to really look up to. But these are smart people. I feel like maxis are the people that they think they're smarter than they are. You know what I mean? They're just like very this is the way, very old man, in terms of mindset, because they can't get out of that mindset of thinking when there's opportunity. But if you create something great in this world, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's great and Bitcoin's great, people they're going to want to be a part of that. They're going to find new ways to be a part of it in different ways to benefit themselves. Sure. But they are going to do it. You can't, there's no way to be a Smeagol's with Bitcoin. You can't do that and just keep the precious to yourself. It's not going to happen. It's been like that with gold. It's been like that with Bitcoin. It's been like that with everything. And so they got to really let that go, because their group is getting smaller and smaller, which is great in my opinion. But it's because the people are leaving their group and creating these Bitcoin treasury companies, what I mean, and stuff like that. So just open your mind and realize that you can't, if you want to live in your corner, sure, go live in there, but you're going to be by yourself in 5 years.
Yeah, 100%. And this world is monkey see, monkey do. If Michael Saylor is making an insane amount of money on Bitcoin, something like SharpLink and something like Bit Digital, they're gonna come out and try it with another token like Ethereum. And then you got UpXE who's doing it with Solana, and you have the Hyper guys doing it with Hyperliquid. My question for you: when do we see a meme coin come in? When do we see Doge or Pengu or something potentially be bought up by a publicly traded company? We see Dog.
Yeah, it's a smaller company, but it's a publicly traded company. And they've probably spent, I don't know, I would imagine, would they have like 19.9 million? So something on the likes of, what was that, 20 times, about 100K, right?
Yeah.
So that's not something that goes into this category, in my opinion, because it is, it's cool, but it's not that level. I think we see Doge, possibly Pengu this cycle, because that could happen with Dog. I think that maybe happens next cycle. I think retail has to come in and really get that viral social effect of Dog going, because right now it's crypto Twitter, which they've done a really good job, but you need retail to be here. So I think we see a Doge, and then the reason why I say Pengu is because of Luca Nets, though. The guy is just on fire. Great business person, and I think he already has partnerships with Van Eck and stuff, like be able to do the penguin at the ringing of the bell. So I actually wouldn't be shocked if we see actually there was an Pengu ETF that was filed and recognized by the SEC, right? So I won't be shocked if we see Pengu maybe even before Doge. Maybe they leapfrog him just because how aggressive he's been. But Doge definitely will get one eventually, I think.
A publicly traded company having Doge on its
maybe
that's GameStop.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
that would piss off Saylor though.
Probably, but maybe GameStop. I mean, GameStop's already doing Bitcoin, but maybe they add in like. I wouldn't be shocked if they add Pengu in.
Yeah, potentially. This one kind of hurts. A trader accidentally burned $10 million pump airdrop worth over 75,000 while using a tool to clean up airdrop junk tokens. So he was using this tool. He got airdropped the pump tokens as he's using this tool, and it burned all 10 million of his pump tokens. So you're probably like me. I go to my Ethereum wallet, and I have like 500 just dust, right, of just people sending me garbage, for using this or using that, and they're all fake tokens, right? And they're not worth anything. I can't sell them. I can't get rid of them. I can send them all out, but then I gotta pay the gas fee. He was using this tool during the airdrop of pump. I guess he was trying to like get his wallet ready for this pump airdrop, and he accidentally burned all 10 million of his pump tokens worth $75,000.
That's obviously horrible feeling. But I didn't realize they were doing an airdrop. But then I did hear something about like selective people. I think got KOLs and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it was the people you had to do like an insane amount of trading, So it was a good portion is going to the community though. I think it's like 30% of the supply. So it's a lot of people did get pump airdrop. I would check your wallet if you use pump at all, just in case. I mean, for sure. TRON is strengthening its position as a stablecoin powerhouse. It now hosts over half of all the UST, all the USDT, processing over $600 billion in monthly volume. TRON, dude, do we have to start calling TRON a top 5 blockchain?
Oh, I don't know about blockchain, but
I mean, it has more than half of all the USDT.
Yeah, I guess so. What are they doing on there?
$600 billion in monthly volume. Apparently, they're just sending it back and forth. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that TRON is a player in the game for sure. And I think a lot of it has to do with how Justin Sun handled this administration that came in and built that bridge there. And so, but look, at the end of the day, he's always been able to show, volumes. He's been able to show TVL. I don't know how, but he's been able to do it. So you can't not put them on the table.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, if you look here, right, obviously Bitcoin's number 1 blockchain in the world. Ethereum's number 2. XRP probably number 3. With their XRPL, BNB right there. I mean, we do know that their Pancake Swap does more transactions than Uniswap now. Solana's right there. So TRON has more USDT than these other two, like XRP easily. I mean, BNB.
I wouldn't put XRP as like a top 5 blockchain yet. I would put BNB ahead of them in terms of volume and stuff like that.
So if you put BNB 3, Solana's 4?
Solana probably
over
4.
BNB.
No, I'd put BNB number 3 probably, and then Solana 4 because BNB does more volume than them. Yeah. And then maybe like XRP has to battle it out with somebody because like
with TRON
probably, but like
I would go TRON 5.
No one uses.
I think that's fair.
You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, I guess no one really wants to pick that next one, but you got to, I guess.
Cardano or TRON?
I mean, use wise, I would think that more people would use Cardano, but the volumes are saying different, right? So
way more people use TRON than Cardano.
That's what I'm saying. But like,
yeah.
For what? DeFi staking and stuff like that?
Apparently, I don't know. Maybe it's just that. Maybe we're just underestimating China and the East, right? Maybe they use it every single day. They use the TRON blockchain, and we just don't know about it.
Possibly.
All right. So Strategy posted something this morning. They say never stop. Strategy never stop stacking. We now hodl 3% of all the Bitcoin in circulation. Pretty nuts to think about. This is the chart here. As you can see, Q3 of 2020, they're at 38,000. Q4, they had 70,000. They just kept buying and buying and buying. Look at it's insanity, bro. Every quarter, they just buy and buy and buy. And then a huge jump came in Q3 of 2024. And then, it's just been huge jump after huge jump. It's the first time where we really haven't seen a huge jump in almost 4 quarters. But yeah, I mean, 602,000 potentially. I mean, these guys might get to 100, potentially 1 million coins, man. It's going to get pretty crazy.
Who's number 2? Oh, that's Q2. Okay.
Q2,
yeah. I mean, yeah, they're definitely on the way there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to see. It's crazy to see. Nothing but hodl, these guys, man. Absolutely insane. They haven't sold 1 Bitcoin, and they started buying in Q3 of 2020. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. All right. So 100 million inscriptions on Bitcoin. Congratulations to anyone who inscribed anything on Bitcoin. There's been 100 million inscriptions. Me and you both got in the inscriptions before 10 million. I remember being in Leonidas' space for number 10 million. Do you remember that? Do you remember being there?
Yeah. I do remember.
Before that? Pretty crazy to think about, man. We weren't sub-million. There is some people in the space who are sub-million, but dude, at 100 million, being there when we had 8 million subscriptions is pretty awesome.
It is awesome. It's awesome to experience that. That's something not a ton of people were able to experience. 2023, the Bitcoin ecosystem, man, I would love to have that back again.
100%. And the final thing we have for you guys here today is KALEO had a tweet today, and I want to get your opinion on this because he does seem to be kind of going the ORDI route and trolling the runes guys. So he says ORDI versus dog ratio breaking out. Let me show my screen here. Actually show the tweet. He says Bitcoin will have multiple billion-dollar meme coins. Ordinals making a comeback as Bitcoin is trading on all-time highs. Just makes sense. ORDI first meme of Bitcoin leading the way also makes because on Bitcoin first matters. So he is using one of our lines here. First is first. He basically has a chart here of ORDI against dog. And ORDI has officially broken its downtrend on dog. What do you think, man? Do you think ORDI can catch up to dog? ORDI is at around $200 million market cap, and dog is around $400 million market cap. Do you think ORDI can pass dog and then be that number 1 meme coin on Bitcoin once again?
Do I think it's possible? Yeah, but
do you think it will happen?
Oh man, that's really tough, man. Like BRC 2.0 has to be a big hit, I think, and I mean there's some big whales that are involved with ORDI, right? And some probably big bag holders with that. So because of that, I would say yes, it's possible. Is it probable? Ugh, man. We got to really see dog get to $1 billion again. How fast does that happen? I think we've seen ORDI rush to $1 billion. So, man, yes, I think it's possible, but probable. I would have to say no for now. But that's if dog doesn't. The next time dog crosses over 500 million, if it doesn't get to 6, I'm going to be worried a little bit there, and then I think that's when ORDI could catch up.
Well, you can't be worried until Ethereum's at 5,000 and dog's still there, right? I just think we're all kind of depending on Ethereum.
I think I could be worried if it doesn't cross 600 million and ORDI gets to like 5. You know what I mean? And it like matches it. Is what I'm saying. Is like that would be the opportunity for ORDI. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. But there's no contest in terms of like community. There's no contest. Like the dog community is like stronger than the ORDI community. You can't. Yeah. Like, there's no contest there.
I would be completely shocked if ORDI passes dog in market cap. I really would be. I would be blown away by that. But you got to remember, these people like Crypto KALEO, they take a lot of leverage, right? He's obviously long ORDI on exchange. You can't go long on some exchanges, potentially Binance and stuff. You can go long on ORDI over there, but you can't go long on dog, right? So he wanted something from our ecosystem. He jumped on ORDI's bandwagon. He realized that the dog army was going to talk crap on him. That gives him engagement. He likes the engagement. He's kind of going after the dog community this way. And he's friends with ORDI. I see them talking on the timeline. This is just trolling, in my opinion. He's trying to get engagement. He's a pump and dumper. He's going to pump tokens and then dump them on his followers. He's been doing it since 2021. I mean, I'm not saying anything that nobody knows, right? It's obviously happened. He talks about stuff and then one day he just stops talking about them completely. People ask him about it and he says he no longer has a position, right? Which shows you that he took his profit. He's a trader, right? So, but you have to, people like that on the timeline who pump tokens up and they take advantage of people coming in after them. They don't care about the token after they make their money. And very similar to what's going to happen in ORDI, in my opinion. I do think ORDI gets to $800 million again, maybe 900. I don't ever see ORDI passing its all-time high. Again.
Really?
I think it can get close, but I don't see it passing it now.
We'll see. I mean, I do think that the BRC 2.0, if that thrives, then that helps ORDI, obviously. But if it doesn't do anything, then yeah, it's going to be tough.
The problem is it's launching rated on the same time as Arch. So it's like, yes, we're going to be able to do everything you're going to be able to do with the BRC 2.0 with runes. So it's like you're not going to convert. In order for them to come back, you got to convert people back to BRC 20. A lot of people left BRC 20s for a lot of different reasons, and but the main reason was number go down, right? And people like new stuff. Everyone likes new stuff, and the runes are like the newest. Well, Alkanes is right there, right? They're pretty new, but I think the adoption of Arch and how new that's going to be is going to really, because if you go to use Saturn, you're using it with runes. You're not using it with BRC20s. You're not using it with thing on their testnet anyway. So we'll see. I think Saturn's really going to kind of push the runes narrative and Arch as well. But that's our show for you guys today. 221 people in here. Really appreciate every single one of you guys, dude. It's been an absolutely amazing show. Really appreciate it. And remember, we do this every single day, 11 a.m.
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate you guys supporting us. It means a ton. If you could check out our partners, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes, make sure you head over to satsterminal.com. You can earn Amber points, which are going to be a give back to the early adopters. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Also, you can swap for Alkanes there. So head over to satsterminal.com, learn about the product there. Check it out. If you have any questions, let us know. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer of the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to bridge your ordinals from Bitcoin layer 1 to Ethereum to Abstract, Base, etc. Right? You're going to be able to do that with their Jump product, which is powered by Lit Protocol. And so right now you can actually take your Taproot Wizard over to ETH and then take a loan out against it with the the Gandhi platform there. And in the future, you're going to be able to utilize Agent Hustle as well to help you do that once they add the Bitcoin tech stack to Hustle. But right now, you can use Agent Hustle to guide you through the trenches of Solana. Use it as a tool in your toolbox. The AI assistant is kind of what I use it for over there. I ask, give me some safe plays on Solana. It'll bring back a couple options of why it chose those. And then in the future, they're going to be dropping the latest version, which will have conditional trading, which is something I'm very excited about. Also, don't forget they have their TGE for their Bitcoin Rune. You can go to OpenSea right now, search for Emblem Founder Vaults, and you can buy the NFT, which is a pre-sale environment. And once the TGE comes around, they will give you instructions on how to get that Bitcoin wallet out of the vault, and you'll have your Bitcoin runes then. So head over to emblem.vision, dive in and learn more there. And then Artura Finance, we went over this platform today with their team or their main contributors there. And you're going to be able to trade fungible Bitcoin tokens in the future. Doggo to the Moon, ORDI, we just talked about those two, Sats as well. But at first, you're going to have to focus on the main ones, Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? But we'll guide you with a tutorial on how to actually work the platforms. Very simple, straightforward. Like if you guys have used a leverage platform, it's very, very easy to use. But if you're not into trading, you can also add to their liquidity pools and earn passively, like we showed you guys today. They're going to be launching on Botonics. You can earn by using their platform points on Botonics as well as Artura. And those points could go towards a future give back as well. Also, after that, they're going to be launching on Hemi Bitcoin Layer 2. Head over to artura.finance, get familiar with the platform, and dive into their docs today. And then Fluid Tokens, the first to offer retail staking vaults on Bitcoin Layer 1. They already had Doggo to the Moon Season 1 and Season 2. They're going to be having Season 3 at the end of this month or beginning of August. So it's going to be around that time frame. You're going to be able to stake Alkanes to earn Dog or stake Dog to earn Alkanes. It's going to be very simple and straightforward, but we'll walk you guys through that, of course. Also, you can utilize their airdrop tool, which allows you to airdrop runes and Alkanes. You can do it two ways. One, upload the CSV file with your airdrop participants' addresses on there, or do it manually one by one. It's very straightforward there on their sites. And if you're in the Cardano side, you can add liquidity to the Aquarium platform to earn Babel fees there. Also, next up is the Tokyo Wallet, guys. Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet. They are building strictly for UI and UX to give you guys the best experience. So if you download it and you have some feedback, just like Arita did today, give it to us. We'll give it back to the team there. But yeah, you can actually swap for Bitcoin runes. They partnered with Sats Terminal on that side, or you can swap for Cardano as they partner with Dex Hunter there. They're going to be adding support to SUI very soon as well. So if you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, head over to the Google Play Store, download the app, try it out, and let us know what you think. Head over to Tokyo.io. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through AI. Right now, they're really focused on the staking offering, guys. You can use the wizard to actually help you stake. If you go to the homepage there, you can select stake, swap. The wizard will do multiple things. The wizard's an AI tool there. And in the near future, you're going to be able to use him as a research assistant as well, kind of similar to Hustle. But going back to the staking side, there's 3 options to help secure the chain. With the proof of stake side, you have the Bitcoin side. You can actually stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. You get between 8 and 21% APR, averages around 16%. It does lock up until September 30th of this year, and then you can get your rewards then. And then there's 2 different staking options for the Merlin token there. There is the flexible, which you earn 15% APR. You can claim your rewards daily. It does take 7 days to withdraw that. So just know that. And then there's the bonded, which is a 6-month approach. And you earn 45% APR there. But again, you can withdraw daily. If you have any questions, head over to their Discord, join their community. You can ask us as well. We'll try to help you out there. And then Ordinal Hive is the Ordinal aggregator marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to find the cheapest ordinals around at Ordinal Hive. Also, they have some amazing trader tools there. Make sure you check them out, like their mempool insights, where you can grab something that someone accidentally mispriced. They'll have all the stuff in the mempool there for you guys. Head over to Ordinal Hive as well. And we thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Up, great job, man. As always, for sure. Few questions here before I get into the next thing. I think Justin says, I think Len Sassaman could have been Satoshi. Yeah, he passed away, I think. Yeah, so that, I mean, it could have been, honestly, could have been a part of that team. Stan says, please share what's pitch enterprises are communicating to investors for choosing Ether or Bitcoin. It's easy, super easy. ETH is proof of stake. You just stake your ETH on the chain, the most safest way to stake anything, and you get 4 to 6% depending if you use Lido or if you do it yourself. But yeah, so 100% it's the staking and the governance too. 51% of all the ETH is enough to change things on the chain. Paulie says Sergey Nazaroff. I don't think Sergey Nazaroff is Satoshi. And then Stan says, thanks, guys. But guys, if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out our website, that website is onchainrevolution.io. Some of the best articles, guys. Brand new article just dropped today. How the global M2 money supply surge is fueling Bitcoin's next all-time high. Check it out here, guys. We have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering a space, please send them our website. We really feel like we can help them get started and caught up to where we are today. Check them all out there. If you guys need a VPN, I highly recommend Nord. I use it every single day. I do not go to websites with my IP hanging out. You don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. It's not good for me. Get to give my address to other people. That IP address can lead to your home address, guys. I know you guys, when you guys go to Amazon and stuff like that, you get an email saying, hey, this person has signed in from Philadelphia. I'm like, oh, crap. I don't have my VPN on. I like it when it says Italy or France or El Salvador, right? So definitely want to get a VPN. You got to remember, too, it's about privacy. It's not illegal to have an EVM. Everyone is allowed privacy. So hiding your IP is only that is privacy. If you guys need merch, we have some of the best merch in all of crypto, in my opinion. Hats, shirts, jackets, school bags, and so much more. If you guys want us to add something, just let us know. But yo, Shizzy, can you add my PFP? Can you add this? I want to get this shirt. Can you add this for me? I can pretty much add anything for you guys. Let us know. It's all done through a third party. We use Shopify. So check everything out here at onchainrevolution.io. And guys, remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
On-chain, 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 on-chain. On-chain revolution, roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. On-chain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. On-chain revolution.